company and its formation. What is a company?
Company means a joint stock company. Joint stock company is a voluntary association of individuals for profit, having a capital divided into transferable shares. It is an artificial person created by law having perpetual succession and legal existence. Types of joint stock company. Types of company can be categorized as under: on the basis of incorporation, on the basis of liability, on the basis of number of members, and on the basis of ownership. There are three types of company on the basis of incorporation. They are chartered company, statutory company, and registered company. Chartered company, a company which is established by the royal charter or special sanction granted by the head of the state, is known as chartered company. The British East India Company, formed in 1600 AD by the Charter Queen Elizabeth, the Bank of England, Hudson's Bay Company are some of the examples of a chartered company. This type of company is not in Nepal and no more popular today. Statutory company, the companies which are established under the Special Act of Parliament are known as statutory company. Nepal Rashtra Bank, Nepal Industrial Development Corporation, NIDC, and Nepal Airlines Corporation, NAC, are some of the examples of statutory companies of Nepal. Registered company. In Nepal, companies are formed and regulated by the provision of Nepal Company Act, 2063. The companies which are established by registering under the provision of Company Act, 2063 are known as registered companies. NIC, Asia Bank, Himalayan General Insurance and Syria Nepal etc. are the examples of registered company. There are two types of company on the basis of liability. They are unlimited company and limited company. Unlimited company, the company in which the liability of the shareholder is not limited, is called unlimited company. In other words, a company not having any limit on the liability of its member is called unlimited company. When the company's property is not sufficient to pay off its debts, the private property of its shareholder can be used for the purpose. Limited company, the company in which the liability of the shareholder is limited, is called limited company. When the company's property is not sufficient to pay off its debts, then the private property cannot be used for the purpose of refunding the debts. The liability of a shareholder is limited to the par value of share invested into the company. There are two types of company on the basis of number of members. They are private company and public company. Private company, a company is registered with minimum 1 person to maximum 50 persons, is called private company. In other words, a private company needs at least 1 and maximum 50 members for its formation. It cannot invite the general people for subscriptions of its shares. There is restriction in the transfer of shares. It does not need to issue the prospectus and can start its business immediately after the registration. A private limited company must add 2 words, that is private limited, at the end of its name. Privileges and exemptions of a private company. Private limited company can be started with 1 person but cannot exceed 50 persons. It does not need to issue prospectus while incorporating it. It can start its business immediately after its registration. It can refuse to transfer its shares. It is not necessary to hold a statutory meeting. Public company, the company other than private limited company is called public limited company. Nepal Company Act, 2063 has defined public company as a company which is not a private company. A public company is one in which shares may be held by any person. At least 7 members are needed to register a public company, and there is no upper limit on the number of shareholders. Have the following restrictions. The shares of public limited company are freely transferable and offered to the general public for subscription, but it needs at least 7 persons for its registration. Members can freely transfer their shares without any restrictions. No limitation requiring the maximum number of its members. However, the minimum number must be at least 7. Free to invite the general public to subscribe its shares and debentures. Advantages of public limited company. The shares are transferable. The liability of shareholder is limited. It is free to invite the public to subscribe its shares and debenture. A large capital, not more than authorized capital, can be collected for mass production purpose. An effective and efficient management is possible through elected board of directors. There are 2 types of company on the basis of ownership. They are government company and non-government company. Government company. In such company, the share capital may be wholly or partly owned by the government. In other words, a company which has more than 51% of the paid-up share capital is held by the government is known as government company. Nepal Oil Corporation and Nepal Bank Limited, etc. are the examples of government company. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe the channel.